Hi, my name is BloodThunder. You can call me BT for short, and I'm so honored to be back here to show off another wonderful run. You may have seen me earlier in the week with System Shock 2, which came out in 1999, so it's one of the older games at the Marathon, and this came out just a couple months ago, so it's one of the newer games. It's quite a change, but before we get into this and explaining all of the wonderful things that is Mouse PI, from my couch would like to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Avakamu. I also run this game. It is a very fun game, very, very fast game.
Awesome. I'm Bobby Berm. I love this game so much. I love the aesthetic. I love the gameplay. I love everything about it. I'm going to be asking a lot of good questions here, I think, about the speedrun. I've not seen the speedrun, so I'm excited to see it for the first time here myself.
And I'm Maxi Lobes. I have yet to play this game, but because BT has such good taste in speed games, I don't think it'll be very
We have
spoiled.
the perfect tiered system of speedrun, play the game, completely new.
Yeah, so we're going to be going through this. 80% no 20 FPS. We'll really talk about that in the last level of the game where it becomes important. But just know it's going to not be like a 5-minute, 10-minute category. This will be a little bit longer. Casually, this is like a 14 to 16-hour game, and we're going to do it in probably about in half an hour. So if the crowd would like to join me in counting down, once we click this, we're going to go through a little intro and then the traditional countdown. So if we're ready on time, 3,
2, 1, go! Good luck, gamer.
Thank you. So we're going to immediately start off by doing some really cool movement tech. The game just throws you in the deep end. It's just like, all right, just go, go, go. So we're going to do our first little movement tech, which is dashing. And we have the stamina bar that pops up on the bottom. And we can actually do it dash into a jump off of a wall to get across that gap instead of having to go up. So that's going to be our main form of movement. It's just all of the dashing as much as we can. We're also going to get some money in this first level, because we're going to need that for a later section of the game. We also have guns and a robo style. The pistol is not the most accurate, so we're going to try to not use it too much. Going to make a save. This is really important for later on. Remember that save. It will come up again. We're going to kill off a couple enemies, because for Mouse PI runners, this is the most infamous trick in the game. Since it's a marathon, we're going to be a little safe. Kill off these guys, because they can just throw blocks at you. So we're going to get up on this chandelier. We don't want to get knocked off here. You may see where we're going already, but let's just get over here, and you get stuck a little bit.
Oh, word.
Okay. So normally what's supposed to happen is the game's going to launch us forward, but because it's a FPS-based trick, sometimes it just doesn't want to play ball. So we're going to try that again real quick. Not a big deal.
So you're trying to clip above the room here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we can get up on this skylight area and then just get out of bounds. But we're also just going for a big boost just to save a little bit extra time.
This chandelier actually is incredibly hard to get up on. I think it only has 1 pixel that you can...
1 pixel?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Something like that. It is very tiny.
So we want that, but going the other way. So we're going to try this again. Yeah, this is a really strange hitbox, because we're not actually landing on the chandelier. There's a part that sticks out collision-wise. This first out of bounds is what gets a lot of new runners, either the clip out there or the clip back in, where you can soft lock. So let's whoop.
Also, starting with the pistol is the weapon. Oh, this is great when you start off and you realize it really just doesn't go straight at all.
Yeah.
Starting off with that weapon, it was so brutal.
You can tell the devs had a lot of fun animating all the idle animations for all the different guns as well.
Right.
We'll see.
I just play it safe this time and not go for the launch. It is really cool to show off, but we can also show it off later, not to have too much of a spoiler, but you might be seeing this level again. Let's see.
I think one of my favorite parts about playing this game was all the sound effects and everything are so crisp, and I just love everything about listening to this game. The music is fantastic, and all the different sound effects with the different guns are so good. Very nice.
There we go.
Very nice. Let's go.
Yeah.
Nice job.
So we're still out of bounds. We have to be really careful about where we go. So it is entirely possible to clip back in way too early. We actually need to come down here and drop in a very specific spot, which will void us out, get us back in, and we're going to do a little lock picking, but this is actually using his tail, because we are playing as a mouse. It's a little disturbing. But now we're gonna go into our first little fight sequence. We just have to take out a couple enemies, and then we go through the opening sequence. So, Sane, if you got some lovely donations, which I'm sure you do, this is a great time for them.
Oh, absolutely. Chat is already getting on the cheese train and telling me about all their favorite cheeses. We've got $25 from Domguff, who says, here's some cheddar for a Gouda cause. And Mental, you're my favorite cheese now. It's pizza. So more cheese puns, we can do that too. We can do that. We've got $25 from Ashweez, who says, shout out to my cheese goat cheese. And they put like a little goat and a cheese emoji. If you want to put emojis in your donations, I will also read those too.
So we're just going to run through some NPC dialogue. We can actually just mash through all of it, and the faster you mash, the faster it goes. So we're just going to be bypassing all of that. We're not really going to have a chance to talk about the story too much, but essentially what happens is we play as a private detective, Jack Pepper, voiced by Troy Baker, who does an amazing job in this game in the role. But yeah, a magician goes missing, and we're tasked with like trying to figure out what happened, and there's this huge, long investigation with multiple plot lines and stuff, and we're going to clip out of bounds here, hopefully. So we do a crouch jump into the ceiling, make a save, and when we reload, we hold weapon wheel, and that lets us stand back up. So we're now just out of bounds here.
Okay.
We need to just navigate a little bit. So most of these levels we like really could just go from the beginning to the end, but what stops us from actually breaking the game even more is the fact that we need like certain clues to actually open up more levels. So we have to jump back in bounds, get our clues, and then finish off the level. So that's how a lot of the routing has gone. Here's Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Hi, Betty. Bye, Betty.
You know, she's half the lady I remember her being.
So now we get to go back to the hub world. You come back here to your office every time you finish up a level, and you can pen investigation notes, so the clues that we found along the way. We just get a little tutorial, so we're going to pen these 2 notes real quick. And then we go talk to Wanda. We do it in this order, so we don't actually have to resolve the case and spend even more time there, but we're just going to get that, and she's going to tell us, hey, go check out the opera, which is where we actually need to spend that money that we picked up. So we needed 30 gold to pay off a waiter, and he's going to kind of push us further into the level. But every time we go through a level, we have to do these little driving segments. Unfortunately, we can't skip this. And in longer categories, it takes up quite a bit of time. But it's a nice little break in between runs. So I'm just going to run through the opera.
God, the voice acting really does shine in this game. It's so good.
He's just going to take us further into the level. We can sneak backstage, so we can go talk to the stage designer. And we're going to pick up not really a weapon, but some dynamite over here, as you do. Let's blow up the floor real quick. We're going to free him because we need to actually like save Stilton here. We don't really need a clue from the opera at all, but Stilton is the next NPC that kind of unlocks a lot of quests for us and a lot of levels. So we actually need to sit through this so we can learn how to save them, and then we're going to go backstage and kind of break the game a little bit. But the fastest way to get backstage is, of course, to go out of the map. So we're going to do another.
I see a theme here.
Yep. Basically, anytime we can save up against the ceiling, we're going to, and just get out of bounds.
Oh my gosh.
Some dashes against the walls with jumps. Okay. It's another one that, depending on how you mash jump, you get different speeds off of this. So we can just slip back in bounds behind the scenes. Well,
Very nice.
shotgun. And we're coming down here for a really specific reason, because there's a lovely upgrade that we get from this wise old stuntman. You can just skip that door, by the way. And he gives us a double jump. Some brand new shoes. And we're going to pick up a blueprint there. It's our first of a handful of blueprints we're going to get. They'll allow us to upgrade our weapons, which we don't really need too much, but it will make our life easier when we get to the final level. So back up here, because the way we got down to the stage area, we can actually like skip this boss fight by rotating the cannon and then just like slipping through a hole over here, which lets us bypass that entire prima donna fight. We're going to get another blueprint here and make our way out of the opera. We need to kill that guy because we can't actually make a save if there's an enemy like being aggressive towards us. The game's like, oh, you're in combat, you shouldn't be able to save, so I have to take him out. And then another small out of bounds here just to leave the burning opera a little bit faster. Sneak through here.
Thanks. I had my next stop lined
So it's
up,
going to kind of give us
but
some more
not a
clues that we
clue
can go
where
back
it
to the
was.
office with. We're going to pick up one more blueprint. And yeah, now we're just going to drive back, get our next quest, and then go up to Vandal's lab. So this is another great time for those wonderful cheese puns and donations.
Oh yeah, we very, very much have them. We've got $5 from Jelano who says, breezing through these levels. And we've got $50 from Crisis Angel Wolf who says, I hope this donation helps because this run is really great. And I'm fondue of supporting good causes. Good of luck,
Nice.
have fun.
Very good.
Very, very good. What else is good is that we are over halfway done with the Garrus Vicarian incentive to unlock that cutscene for Mass Effect 3, which is our very next run. So chat, y'all are killing that, but can we kill it really dead and get some more donations to MSF to that incentive? Remember to mark it when you do donate.
So we have to drive all over the Vandal's lab, and this is kind of in the creepy area of the game. The game has like certain quest lines and certain themes to the levels, and the Kurtzville stuff is one of the cooler ones. You got a lot of horror elements, a lot of cool nods to just the horror genre.
I think this level has one of my favorite guns in the game as well.
Yeah, the gun coming up is definitely a fan favorite for many reasons. We don't use it too much in the run, but we will be grabbing it. So we just got to take a small elevator here. So now the shotgun's being kind of our main tool going forward. Take out these enemies, unless we need some range, like killing off this guy. And then we're just going to continue to dash through, ignore the ones that don't really matter. So just bypass all of these guys. Pick up one more sneaky blueprint over here. There's actually a ton of blueprints in this game, and I had to go look up a YouTube video on like where some of the more hidden ones are, just to kind of route it properly. But yeah, we kill off some enemies. We're gonna come up here to that gun Bobby was mentioning before. We're gonna pick up some ammo for it. But this is the Devarnisher. It's a really cool weapon. It kind of just melts away enemies.
It's so good.
Let's dip.
And what we can do is actually reload that save we just got to bypass the animation of looking at it, so we can go into this fight without having to spend like 15 seconds just looking at it. Also, he's a little upset. So you can use that barrel to like kind of set the floor on fire, just take out an extra enemy. And there are shield users here, which easiest way to deal with shields are just to kick them so they get stunned and then them off. But we're going to get an autosave by finishing this fight. So we stand up on this plank so that we're right up against the ceiling. And then when we reload, you might guess what happens. Oh, look, we're out of bounds.
Again?
So this level is really long and has like 3 big boss fights. If we do everything right, we're not going to do any of them. Just got to navigate on these really thin walls. Jump over here. Double jump also takes stamina, so you kind of have to wait sometimes if you go too fast. Jump around this corner so we can slip in and get this last clue just because it ends the level.
Coast Guard
Here's this
papers.
boss.
Arrival signed
Just
by
gonna kind of leave
a
it there. And a really strange thing happens. If you go into this cutscene with the Devarnisher out, you're allowed to just like leave the level. If you have a different weapon out, you can't do that for whatever reason.
Really?
So, yeah, you can just straight up just leave.
What?
Okay.
Not sure why that works, but it does. But yeah, we're just going to go back, talk to Stilton again, and he's going to send us off to Clergy Row.
Wild.
So we got time for a couple donations.
100%. We have a $1,000 donation from Rebby and Abby, who says, we calibrate our lives around GDQ and can't wait to see our favorite Turian tell us his favorite spot in the Citadel. Here's $1,000 to Garrus. More GDQ, more MSF. We are still here together. Thank you so much for that incredible generosity towards Doctors Without Borders and towards Garrus. Can we give a round of applause?
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you for the generosity.
And we've got some love for this game and puns. $25 from Anonymous, who says, this game reminds me of cartoons from age immemorial. GDQ is always a fun time, and I'll be blue when it's over. Brilliant work by y'all.
So this is Clergy Row, one of the harder levels in the game. We have to do a lot of really precise jumps here, and there's actually a mantle mechanic in this game as well that sometimes just doesn't want to let you mantle, but we need to jump on these windows. He's just trying to see what we're up to.
Hey, man.
What is this guy doing outside my window?
Oh, my
We're
God.
gonna jump on some
Getting maxy in this game.
some invisible platforms here. Okay, we need to jump up a little bit more. We're gonna do those big dashes off of some collision here because we need to make it into the police department. I'm just gonna try to. Okay. So we need to do a lot of like mashing of spacebar so we can jump when we get those dashes. And what can happen with the double jump is you just mash too much and it eats the double jump as well, which is what happened there. And we really need to make it on top of the police department. So let's try this again.
I would argue that in this category, this is actually probably the hardest
Really?
section. The jumps are deceptively.
Is there like a specific part of it specifically that makes it really hard? Like
It's the timing, I would say, of getting the ideal height on the jump. But I mean, BT makes it
Very
look
nice.
easy.
And we're not done yet because we actually need to clip back in bounds in a really unorthodox way. So we need to hit an autosave from beneath the map with a crouch jump.
Well,
And then hopefully when we reload, we can actually clip back up into the floor, which we did.
awesome.
There we go.
And we get to go get a clue from this safe here. So I'm going to tail pick once again.
This minigame's so cool.
It's really cool.
Grab our clue. And a quick shout out to the Resident Evil runs last night. This is the third game in the marathon with the Welcome Leon song. This game loves referencing other media, so there's a lot of game references, movie references and stuff. It's just really charming overall. Debs did a really good job of
time to move.
making this feel like a fun little project. And not just cashing in on the art style, which a lot of games that kind of popped up in the rubber hose style have done over the years.
Get back to corner fast.
It's a great game. But yeah, we're just going to drive back, talk to Stilton, and get some more clues done.
Well, that was awful.
And then we're going to go upgrade our weapons for the first and only time. We're actually going to put some clues on the board first so that we don't have to resolve an investigation, which is something you have to do more so in the no save warp category. Just a little bit longer, an hour and 15 minutes. So he's telling us to go to the old subway. We're going to go talk to our girl Tammy down here. And she's also going to give us a couple blueprints as well, just for free. Just to kind of get us into upgrading our weapons. So I get one for the shotgun, the boomstick, one for the devarnisher, and two for the Tommy gun that we just picked up. This is going to be our loadout for the rest of the game. And the Tommy gun's really the one that we want to prioritize because upgrading it gives you more ammo, which is just really nice when you have to deal a lot of damage. You can just kind of blindly fire. So the old subway is the last level that we're going to in a traditional manner. We need to get one more upgrade here, and then, yeah, we'll be going back to that one save I told you to remember at the very beginning of our run.
The underbelly was crawling with lice.
Just going to take out some enemies so that we can get another save and go through the ceiling. So we got some more lovely donations to read out.
All the grind of my
But of course we do. We have $15 from Mom Thunder.
Aww.
Aw, who says go BloodThunder. Always love watching you run games. Also, that was in all caps, so always love watching you run games.
Yes. Yeah.
I love games.
Love games.
Huge shout outs to my family who've been watching me every single event that I go to, and I just love you so much. So we get the autosave, and hopefully we should go out of bounds because of FPS. Sometimes you just kind of get thrown in. Let's try that again. So also when you clip out, like holding a directional input can matter as well. Okay, so we actually need to redo this fight. Wasn't quite in the right spot, which can happen with this. So we're on a very small piece of collision. So we just got to run back through this. Do you have any more wonderful donations?
As always, we have $50 from Lord Byron, who just says mouse emoji, cheese emoji, mouse emoji, cheese emoji, mouse emoji, cheese emoji.
You summarized the game perfectly.
Yeah, that's pretty much right. And we have $15 from BZ Archer, who says, I'm a fan of a good funky cheese, like a nice Humboldt Fog or a spicy Calabrile. My wife is more of a smoked Gouda or aged cheddar person, but we're both fascinated by a good piece of cheese. So real. And I'm fascinated by the progress on that Mass Effect 3 Garrus Vicarian incentive. $26,000 out of the $50,000 that we need, so let's keep going. Woo!
I saw your character like blast to the side. What was that?
Yeah, so like that's the kind of launch you can get if you just get stuck on a wall at a high FPS, which we just dropped down to 60 so that we don't get launched out. And we're going to do something a little strange here. We're going to actually spawn in some enemies. So there are some flying enemies in this room that we were going to pull outside the map. We're just going to wait to see their kind of helicopter on the floor here. Should be any second. So we're going to jump over here, pull them out of bounds, and we're going to jump on top of their head.
What? You're kidding.
And if we stand on top of them,
What?
we can jump, and they'll kind of follow us as well. Sometimes they're a little nicer than others, and we can use this to get more height so we can get up here on top of this collision, leave them behind.
Wow, using them as an elevator? You're joking.
And you can get infinite height off of those too. So
Really? Wow.
Now we're going to just slip it back into bounds. We're coming up on a boss fight here, which is a pretty fun one. And we're doing this because he has an upgrade we need called Tailcopter.
Oh, I love this boss.
So we're just going to throw these barrels at him, and then we can dash through them, and he's going to kind of continue to shoot where we were. We're just kind of getting some damage for free. I'm going to use the Devarnisher as alt fire, so we can kind of just put down this area of effects, kind of poison on him. Some more barrels. Unfortunately, because we've skipped so many weapon upgrades, we don't do a whole lot of damage, so we have to kind of rely on just the barrels here to do most of it.
There we go. That's
Very
that
nice.
boss.
Wow.
Clean.
Yeah, so at this point we get Tailcopter as an upgrade. Yeah, we're gonna use our tail as a helicopter. It's a little strange, but that's what we need. So we're gonna make a save here, and this is where the game really gets broken. So we're gonna go back to the main menu, and then I'm going to hit continue, which is gonna try to load us back in with our current progression, but we're gonna go to the load screen, load game, and then go back to that first save that we made. So the game is going to, this is also, you gotta do it real quick, is going to try to put us back on that first level save with the current progression that we have. Which we should have it here.
No room for mistakes now.
So yeah, now we're back at the very beginning of the game, but we have all of the weapons and all of the movement upgrades that we've picked up all along the way. And the reason that this is important is because the first level is actually the final level, believe it or not. That's why you kind of just get thrown into the elevator that we started off in. So the game says, oh, you're back at the first level, but you've beaten it, you've gotten other stuff. Clearly, when you're coming back here the second time, you should be at the very end of the game. So that's what
Surely.
And now we're just on a mad dash to get to the same spot where we dropped off before. And things will go a little bit differently. The enemies and stuff are different from the first time we were here, though. So we have a couple more to kill off. We don't need to worry about the money at this point.
Come on.
And luckily, when we come up here to do the chandelier jump, we actually have double jump, which makes our life a whole lot easier. We don't have to worry too much about it. Just gonna use this to kind of get those enemies off me real quick as we jump up here. Go for this again. This is the one problem with relying on FPS-based tricks in your speedrun.
Very nice.
So you can get some ridiculous boost off of that, and make sure not to soft lock here. Another fun tail pick for the road. And these never change, they're always the same when you go through a run, so it's not random or anything like that. Another quick fight, and then we have one of the dreaded parts for every runner, which is the airplane section of the game. But with this route, we have a really safe method for actually crossing them, and we'll talk about what the 20 FPS category means, but it's a great time for one or two quick donations.
Absolutely. We've got $50 from Verdant Hope, who says, good luck, BT. Get that cheddar, unless you prefer something that goes better with cabbage. So real. And $50 from Hikaru, who says, coming into this Mouse PI for Hire run blind, but I know BloodThunder always puts on a great show. Good luck, BT. Much love.
Thank you so much. So Tammy's going to come and save us this time. She's the one that we upgraded our weapons with.
Ain't you a sight for sore eyes?
Really happy to see her, so she's going to save us. So this section of the game, you're supposed to just kind of go through. It's almost like an auto-scroller, where you have to jump across all these planes when they come in, deal with enemies, and move on. But the planes are spread really far apart because you should have double jump, you should have tailcopter, and there's even a grapple hook as well that we didn't pick up. So this route goes through the game and picks up stuff that makes it very easy to get across these planes. The 20 FPS category, if you're wondering what that is and why we don't do it, one second, I just gotta line this up real quick, wait for this pass over, fall down, onto our first. So on 20 FPS, you can do a dash into a jump and just clear these gaps without even trying. But that means you're playing most of the game at 20 FPS, so of a 12-minute category, about 7 minutes it's playing at 20 FPS, which is not really fun to do and it's not really fun to watch. So That's why this category was made, so that runners didn't have to play that way. I'm just going to jump down here. This is the halfway point, and there's no checkpoints in the plane segment as well, so if you ever miss a jump or fall down or an enemy like pushes you off, you have to restart from talking with Tammy. There's another one. We need to make sure we hit a trigger here to load the planes in. You also see that grapple hook that we just bypassed there. Just going to wait a little bit for these boxes to fly in with the enemies because they can actually just launch you into the void. One more section with the planes here.
For a lot of the shorter runs, this definitely is the most reset heavy level with how it's structured.
At the very end.
So this is where we're going up to the final boss. What happens in the story is basically we go through this big long quest line going after Sawyer, and Jack thinks Tammy got kidnapped, but she didn't. She's helping us, and he's just now realizing it. He kidnapped our friend John, the bartender, back at our little office area. So now we're just going to go towards the final boss fight, which sounds more exciting than it actually is. Unfortunately for the run, it is not much we can really do to speed up at all. I'll show you a cheeky little strat if you're having trouble with it as well.
Maybe a bit of a cheesy strat.
Ooh.
So there's like multiple waves or phases, whatever you want to call it, in this boss fight. So we have 4 turrets to take out. So we're just going to shoot these. I don't know why they have teeth and a tongue, but they do. Very disturbing. We're going to take out 4 of these real quick. And once we take out 4 of these, we're going to have a laser segment, and then we're going to have 4 more turrets, more lasers, and then 2 different bosses, one like mini boss and one proper boss. What you can do to avoid the laser stuff is actually just jump here and chill on this turret. I'm going to show this off, and then I'm not going to do it because otherwise it'd be me sitting here for like 5 minutes. So this is like the general arena in the middle, and there's this black fog that comes up, which does damage to force you into it, that make you have to deal with these lasers. But if you just sit here, the fog doesn't do any damage, and the lasers don't do any damage. So we're just going to jump down, have some fun. Yeah, just try not to get hit. The lasers only do 5 damage each, so if they hit me, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm just going to jump around and listen to your lovely donations and those wonderful cheese puns. Take it away, Satan.
Yes, yes, yes. So many. We've got $20 from Speedy, who says, donating some cheddar for my favorite cheese, mozzarella. Absolutely love it. Yep, keep that cheddar coming. We are already about $27,000 of the way to that 50K for Garrus Vicarian, and we have some more love for that itself. We've got $20 from Turgyrskik. I truly don't know how to pronounce that, but y'all can try your best. Who says, I genuinely believe Garrus to be the greatest companion in video game history, so I had to donate for his cutscene. Also, I am proud to see yet another Polish game being run at GDQ. Cheers to everyone in attendance for watching and watching at home. We've got $50 from Fallen One, who says, oozing through the cracks in the map geometry like melted cheese escaping your sandwich. Also, Tammy is best kinda daughter. Real. We've also got $5 from Springald Jack, yeah, who says, something about this case stinks. Or maybe that's just my Limburger cheese? I don't know. I guess you'll have to play to find out. And if this cheese was becoming a little bit too much for you, I have a donation that might help cleanse your palate. $50 from Karain, who just says, I'm lactose intolerant, sad face.
So sorry.
Yeah. I wish you could play the game.
I think everyone can play Mouse PI.
True.
Seems pretty cool.
So yeah, we're just in the second set of lasers here. It's going to be another like minute or so of just dodging the stuff. It doesn't ever really get much harder than this, so let's keep those donations coming.
Absolutely. $10 from Marina, who says, here to contribute to the ricotta of GDQ donations. Keep up the great work. And we've got $50 from Ali N, who says, I'm Garrus Vicarian, and Swiss is my favorite spot on the Citadel. Thank you, Garrus, for your opinion. Please keep sending in more cheese opinions. I would love to see them. We've got $55 from Clara Callie, who says, loving this cheese block. It took me an hour to get to the end of the first level, but 10 minutes in, you're already gone way past that. Have some cheddar to keep this cheese train going.
Yeah, if you want to play this game casually, it is very long. There's like 24 levels. We showcase like 5.5. And the levels themselves are like an hour long each. Like there's so much more to this game that you did.
Big game.
Yeah. And if you want to see a little bit longer of a category, I do have a like fully commentated no save warp category, so it actually goes through all of the levels. It still has heavy out of bounds, heavy like using flying enemies to get way up on top of the map, stuff like that. So if you're curious on that, you can just find it on my YouTube. But yeah, a little bit longer here to go. Let's see. Should be like 4 or 5 more lasers here. And then yeah, we're gonna be fighting Pierogi, which is his like right-hand man, obviously named after another food. And then
I love pierogies.
What is your
Shout
favorite
out.
cheese, BT?
I'm a man of Colby Jack cheese.
Ooh,
Me
very
too.
good.
Choice.
This goes good on just about anything, just eat it by itself. So that's the last laser segment there, and now we're going to deal with Mr. Pierogi here.
Felt expensive.
I love aged white cheddar.
It's a classic.
Addicting.
Big blue cheese guy myself.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Enough of all this.
Good luck, gamer.
Here's Pierogi. There's also a lot of additional enemies, but using the Varnisher's AoE, you can just kind of take them out. Just use the Tommy gun, just spray and pray. He likes to charge into walls, and yeah, we're just going to continue to melt down his health. Not a whole lot mechanically going on here. Fortunately, a lot of the cooler boss fights that are in the game, we actually just skip, like the ones in Vandal's Lab. All right, so Pierogi's down. We have one more. This is Sawyer. He's going to spawn up there. We also have infinite ammo once we get into the boss fights here. We don't have to worry too much about it. So we're going to throw some dynamite up here just for the sake of it. Once he spawns in, we're going to use the Varnish on him. So it kind of takes away his health and just continue to dodge enemies on the floor.
Let's up the ante.
And we're just going to watch his health drain away. So I'm jumping around here because there's just a ton of enemies on the floor. I'm just trying not to get stuck on as I have to kind of follow him back and forth. Another round of Varnish ammo.
Oh, yeah, that is a ton.
Just looks down. There's like 50 enemies around.
Yeah, but they always spawn in, so you have like a chance to kill them and get some health by eating some cheese, which, just take a second to do that. Okay, we're going to skip this cutscene. We're going to deal with Sawyer, and then once we free John, that will be time. So we are just about done with this game. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for having me back. Thank you to my lovely couch for joining me. It's been great sharing this early morning stage with you. So we're going to rescue John, our friend.
John.
We'll talk to him one last time, and when we fade to the cutscene, that is time.
Threatening someone with a wrench.
And there we go. That is Mouse PI for hire. Any percent to no 20 FPS.
Very good job.
So if you are interested in running this game or any of the categories, the community's always open to having new runners. We have people pop in all the time asking questions. So I have pretty well commentated runs on my YouTube as well, kind of going over all the strats, especially for like no save warp category and stuff. So shout out to the community who's helped to break this in a very quick amount of time. Like this game just came out a couple months ago, so who knows what it's going to look like in another year or so. But yeah, if you want to find me, you can find me at twitch.tv/BloodThunder. I run a lot of FPS games, horror games. Going to be working on Doom: The Dark Ages Revelations when I get back home, and the Doom Anthology, all those wonderful games. So, Couch, you guys have anything to say while we're here?
I mean, BT's a great representation of this community, and I'm so happy to see BT run this game on stage. So thank you, BT.
Yeah, thank you for having us so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. Just stay tuned for the rest of the wonderful games. You'll see Kamu later on for Expedition 33. He'll be on Couch for that. Shout outs to all the other runners. So, raising a good cause. Let's hit 2 million in like the next couple hours, maybe.
That would be great.